Thank you for joining me. I'm going to be talking about workers in Vinea, the information we hold about them, and how to create them. To access workers in Vinea, we look for the menu on the side, the icon that has a person profile. We then click on worker. That'll provide a list of all the current workers, and I can also type into the search bar at the top to look for any worker by their name. And I'll just do this and see I've got two workers called Ruby. So I'm going to pick one of them and take you through the setup. I can click on the name of the worker and we see at the top of the screen a image, which is a picture of Ruby, and some roles that they have, as well as their business unit. We see Ruby has a unique ID, and we've got a little star next to it, which means we can highlight her if we want to keep her in our list of some sort. On the top of the screen around here, we see also details of nationality, gender, ethnicity, email address, date of birth, and any languages and phone numbers. These are all configurable for you. To edit those details, I click on the Manage button, and I can see here that I've got all this at my fingertips ready to add. I can also add further roles to Ruby by clicking on Manage Roles. We won't do this at the moment. And I can also deactivate it by clicking on this little slider bar here. We see on the main screen that we've got a bunch of classifications for Ruby. These are tags which say something important about Ruby. And also we have references which are numbers or codes of some sort that pertain to Ruby. And also details of Ruby's payroll periods, when she's worked, and how many payroll transactions. And we can click on one of these payroll periods to see details of when she worked, where she worked, how many hours she worked, and what her job was. And I click on close here to exit that. We'll talk about classifications. To do that, I can just click on the Manage button, and I can see that the two classifications Ruby had, one was her employee category, and she's tagged as an RSE employee. The other is her pay scale. Associated with a pay scale is a pay rate. So what we're saying is that since the 1st of April, Ruby has been on the RSE Seasons 1 and 2 pay scale. We'll talk about pay scales a little bit later. And you might have noticed that to get back to Ruby's main details, I just clicked on her name. References. We have a reference here for the Inland Revenue Department number. That's the number that is used for payroll deductions. We have her visa details code, with driver's license and its expiry date, and a payroll number, which is generally something that doesn't change. If we click across here to notes and documents, we can see that we have loaded a number of notes and documents into the system. There's a vaccine certificate, a photo, an employment agreement, and a passport photo. We're going to click on her employment agreement, and we can see that this was loaded on the 1st of May 2024. It's got a keyword of contract, there's some notes about it, and then I got a document that's clearly been uploaded. I can click on this little icon here to see what's in the employment agreement. And here's the employment agreement that we've loaded for Ruby, and I can just close that. Click on notes again to return back to that previous menu, and I'll pull up a vaccine certificate this time by clicking on it, clicking on the medical certificate, and here's details of a medical certificate and some vaccinations. Close that. And we also see there's an employee photo and there's a passport photo. One more, I'll click on the passport photo. And here we are, this is the photo. So the bottom line is that we're able to load a large amount of information against any worker in the system. We can group them in various ways. We can have unique numbers or codes which are used to represent them. Essentially, Vinea provides a CRM capability for recording details and tracking workers. Some more information I have here, if I click on the More tab, and that is the contact information for Ruby. That is her mobile number, company email, and personal email. If I just click on this, and I can see that we've got a mobile number loaded, a company email, and a personal email. We'll take you through an example of loading this shortly. Finally, I can see once again, if I click on More, that Ruby is currently accommodated at Maryvale Lodge in Unit 1, bed number 1. And she has been since the 1st of May. Now we're quickly going to look at how we add new workers in Vinea. I'm going to load a new worker that we've just employed, and that worker's been employed in the North Island business unit. And so I've got a smaller list of workers in this business unit, and I'm going to click on New Workers. The worker's called Sally Semple. You see we've got the ability to load a middle name. We don't have one for Sally, but we do know that she prefers to be called Sal. So we'll load that. We know that Sally was born in the year 2000. She was born in the month of July on the 21st. We've got some other information we can record here. So firstly, we're going to select her gender, her nationality. She is an Australian. And as far as ethnicity, she wishes to be described as an Australian. Her primary language is English, but she's also spent time working in South America in the vineyards, so she knows some Spanish. And her business unit is New Zealand North. I'll click Save. Now, over here we see similar identities. The purpose of this is that if Sally had already been loaded, or there was someone who possibly could have been Sally because their name was similar, it will prompt a warning saying, we've got some similar identities here. Does this person actually already exist in Vinea? We're now going to click Next, and we're going to load some contact details. We click on Add Contact, and we can see there's two little green ticks here, and there's a red cancel button. Those two buttons are quite important. If you don't click the ticks, you won't save the record. So we're going to start by loading her company email, because Sally's joined us as a permanent employee. We're going to Sally.Semple at mylabourco.nz, and then I'm going to say, when did she start? Well, she's actually started today. This is going to be her primary email now. Click on the two ticks, and that's saved. I'm going to add a mobile number now. Her mobile number is 0272 5692341. And again, it's effective from this date. That's her primary mobile number or contact number. That's the information I want to load for Sally at this point. Well, she's given us a home address, and if something ever happens and we need to make a contact at home, we could record that. You can see there's a whole bunch of different contact methods we've got in terms of home phone, fax, invoice address, postal address, reception, street address. So we could load a home address, call it street address here, and she lives in New Zealand, and her address is 47 Napier Road, Napier, and New Zealand. I think that'll work enough as much as what we want, and that's her main address. So we're going to click on the little double ticks there. Now you notice sometimes when I move over to the go over to the left of the screen, something else appears. That's when I move my mouse out into this area, and it thinks I might want to do something else and go somewhere else from where I'm at. It's something to be aware of, because if you do that and you click, you will then move to another screen. Anyway, we've loaded the basic information in for Sally, so I'm now going to click Next, and I could add her references. Now, Sally is going to be doing some driving for us, so I'm going to load her driver's license. So it's the driver's license number is ACU 1387 or 6701, and that in this case we want to put the date that actually came off the license. And she's got a New Zealand driver's license as well as an Australian one. So we're going to put the date of her New Zealand driver's license, which is the 1st of June 2022. And these things have an expiry date on them. So we're interested in recording that, because if Sally's still working for us when it expires, we want to know about it. So we're going to say 31st of May, and that's going to be 2037. Click on the two clicks to save that. We need to load her payroll number in, and I'm not exactly sure what that's going to be at the moment, so we might come back to that. Click on that. What other things might we want to load? Her bank account, we don't have that yet, and she's on a New Zealand passport. She's an Australian resident, and so she doesn't need a passport to work here. So I'll finish with that, and I'll click Next. Classifications. Well, let's look at how we might classify, how she's going to be classified in the organisation, and she's a permanent employee. We'll click on the ticks, and then we also want to figure out how we're going to pay her. So we're going to set up her on pay scale. When you look at the available pay scales, and Sally's actually joining us as a viticulturist. So we're level 1. So we're going to click viticulturist level 1 and the 2 ticks. And there'll be a rate set up for this pay scale, and that's what Sally will be paid on for any hours she works. I'm going to click Next, and we're going to say, are there any relationships we want to load? Well, if we look at some of the relationships we could load where she's staying. We could load if she's a team leader, and we could load if she belongs to a team. There's a whole bunch of other attributes she could be. If we click leader of a team, we might want to say, well, what teams exist? I think there's no new team that we want to load at the moment, so we'll leave her out of that. And now we'll click Finish. Now we have a picture of Sally that we also want to load, and we're going to do that in 2 places. Firstly, we're going to put a little thumbnail picture of Sally up here. So I can click on this thumbnail icon, click on Upload an Image, and that's going to take me to a directory where I've got my photos. I can then move this photo around and pick a suitable size, click Save. and we see that a picture of Sally's appeared here. The other thing we can do is load a more official photo that we can use for other purposes. So we're going to click Add Note, and I'm going to call this file photo. We can call it whatever we want, really, but something that makes sense. And we're going to select a keyword called file photo. Photo supplied by Sally on the first day of work. Now going to click on the upload document, and we're going to browse for this photo by clicking on the plus sign here, and we're going to look for the one which has got Sally's photo in it. Sally Simple. We're going to save. We'll save this. And now we see we've got a file photo here. We can actually click on this, remember, as we did earlier, and click on this little image, and it'll open Sally's photo. So quickly looking again at the workers, we have a list of workers. We can search for a worker, and we have to search by a business unit that we own, or we can search across all business units. So we filtered out the business unit, so here's Sally. We can then see if she's involved in any payrolls. We can see any documents. We can see more information about her. If we wanted to record where she was staying or other relationships, we can do so. There's only one other thing we haven't covered, which I'll briefly touch on, and that is I'm going to search for another worker. That is attendance. So attendance is an area where in the field a supervisor with a group of workers can record if a worker hasn't arrived, so that that can be helpful for a pastoral care perspective. So here's a record that's coming from the field and has been processed. So we see that Tom Woods recorded that Sally was missing from a particular job, and she was marked as unwell, and in fact that she called to advise she had a migraine. She ended up taking one day off, and there's a pastoral care member of the team called Carla who actually phoned in and spoke to her and confirmed that again on the same day that she was away, and she's got no sick leave allocation, and so there's no particular comments there because she's got no sick leave. This just means she's taking a day off, and there's no medical certificate required, and there's no charge being made to a client. In some cases, there might be a charge passed on. So we've covered pretty much everything you might want to know about workers at the moment, and to look forward to sharing more with you at a future time.